Aloha, everyone. It's an early rainy morning on Kauai. I imagine you can hear the rain. Looks like the mists of Avalon out there in the rainforest, although it's actually the mists of Kauai. But I'm all snuggled down in my warm blanket here at home. But I'm not showing you that. Instead, I'm showing you right now my Second Life avatar and the New Earth Star Sanctuary waterfall. Water, I felt, was an appropriate theme. What I wish to share with you today are some various things that kind of connect together. And so let's get started. Now, first, I'd like to show you just a little bit from a video I made in May. The date on the published date is May 6th. Now, today's date, I think I forgot to mention that, is June 25th, same year, 2016. So I'm just going to play this tiny little bit from this video I made about 2 months ago. But in essence, what it's really about is that we are moving into a vibration where other worlds exist, where other aspects of our world that we were not aware of exist. So it's not like a planet is coming toward us. Really, no planet is coming toward us. We are moving into a zone of a greater perspective, perception, and things were already there. So we are connecting to those things. It's a vibrational shift is what it is. And yes, it's affecting the Earth's magnetic field. Okay, I think that's enough of that, but I just wanted to share that with you before we go on to show you the connecting dots here. So here's another connecting dot, and this is a video on YouTube. NASA has just confirmed that the Earth has a new moon.
Earliest number, especially when you are a single moon circling the planet full of humans. But let's not lose hope here, because NASA just announced that there might be a second moon come to keep you company. This newly discovered moon is smaller than our moon and goes around the Earth astonishingly irregularly, but still, 2 is quite better than 1. This second moon is actually an asteroid called 2016 HO3, and it is currently locked into a little dance with Earth. This new moon has been dancing around for over a century now. Its orbit is extremely elliptical, affecting it to go a wee bit off tangent, between 38 and 100 times the distance of Earth's primary moon, and bob up and down across Earth's orbital plane. This new moon is tilted by about 8 degrees, and it orbits the Sun for 365.93 days, which is a little longer than Earth's 365.24-day-long year. Since it's tilted and has an elliptical orbit, sometimes it is quite closer to the Sun and moving a little faster than Earth. Other times, it is a little bit farther out and moving a bit more slowly. However, it never gets any closer than about 14 million kilometers from planet Earth, or farther than about 40 million kilometers. According to NASA, it's larger than 36.5 meters across, but no more than 91 meters wide, and will circle Earth for many more centuries to come. 2016 HO3 was first discovered by astronomers in April 27 with the Pan-STARRS 1 asteroid survey telescope, located in Haleakala, Hawaii.
And so that is that one. Now I want to play you this one. Whoop, let's see here. Well, no, it's not a play, it's a read. A giant galaxy orbiting our own just appeared out of nowhere. And remember what I said on the video. Astronomers scanning the skies just got a huge surprise. They discovered a gigantic galaxy orbiting our own where none had been seen before. It just came out of nowhere. So just how did the recently discovered Crater 2 succeed in pulling off this feat? Well, we're going to skip some of that. It tells us about that. Let's see here. Now that astronomers know it's there, though, there are a few other crushing facts that astronomers discovered. First of all, we can't blame the galaxy's size for its relative insignificance. Crater 2 is so massive that researchers have already identified it as the fourth largest galaxy orbiting our own. We can't even blame it for its distance either, because Crater 2's orbit around the Milky Way puts it just precisely in our neighborhood. That being said, the question arises, how did we not know it was there? So anyway, I'm going to stop at that point. I'm sure they can make their own conclusions about that. We're talking about physicists and astronomers, but I'm making my own conclusions about it too, based on what I received in May that I shared with you. So let's go back to the moon for a minute, though, because I want to, that's not quite it. Here we go, let me see. I've known for some time, for many years now, that the Earth originally had 2 moons at one point. And this is from my information on Cancer, astrologically, and it says, in the time when the eyes of Meeraab shone brightly, the cycle of Cancer was known as Meeraab, the mother of the sea. She stood upon the back of a giant crab and wore a crown of 7 stars, which represented the 7 priestess stars of the Pleiades. The eyes of Meeraab were the 2 moons of Earth, and Meeraab was encircled with the Koba, the sun robe, which was a symbolic representation of the solar infusion patterns within the heart, and is also to be found in microcosm within the atom. The sun robe is woven from the receptors of divine presence, which are braided into the atoms of the subtle physical body. And now here, an article that I've written years ago on the dolphins. It states, as a whole, dolphins can be seen as beings very much in touch with their starlight forms, whose brains are more divine language than gray matter. In the future, the dolphin tribe will receive the Earth. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'll start that line over again. In the future, the dolphin tribe will receive the Earth's original primordials, which are evolutionary particles of all the living Earth, to be assimilated into the new Earth star awaiting us as a planetary whole. The holographic fields of the dolphin brains will recalibrate the primordials into a more digestible form for the new Earth star bodies to receive. The primordials will ascend from the etheric moon into the dolphin brains. The etheric moon is the remaining essence of the moon, which was destroyed during the epoch of Atlantis, when the Earth had 2 moons. Relative to our remaining moon, the destroyed sphere was the female. Now, of course, we all know the moon represents the female versus the moon and the sun, but we're speaking of another context here. If you have 2 moons, the moon that was destroyed was the female moon. In its etheric state, it contains a passage for the primordials to enter into the Earth. The dolphins will draw upon this passage when the time is right and receive the primordials into their holographic being. So now we move along to an article on Lemurian Fractal Project. I think if you just Google Lemurian Fractal Project, you would get it. Mind-blowing information about the actual energies on the planet. I don't know how much of this I'm going to read. I'm just going to sort of start off and go with the flow. In this article, we are going to talk about the cosmic cycles of the planet, the procession of the equinoxes, and the photon belt, the magnetic grid and its energy points, the nodes and nulls. We're going to put several pieces of the puzzle together, as everything seems to be moving now at God's speed. We recommend that you make sure to understand these concepts first before starting to read this article. Well, this is pretty scientific, and it's going off, in a lot of different directions that we're not holding to right now and what I want to relate to you. But the reason I brought it up is it's one of the things. I really like this article. It's really good. It really, for the most part, aligns to what I'm receiving. And but what the bottom line here that relates to what we're talking about is that there are so many incredible changes going on in our perceptual field that are affecting the elemental structure of what we relate to as elements. I mean, that's not said specifically in this article, but it points in my understanding, it points to that truth. And because we are dare thinking about it, considering possible the impossible, we have infinite power and infinite potential. We intuitively know what to do and what's next. We can put an end to all the lower streams that are placing fear-based war suffering and drama energies within the crystalline grid simply by the single power of our consciousness, because we are infinite beings, and as it is time now for this to come to an end. We know of the portals. We know how the sacred sites are being used to spread sound frequencies to keep the grid in lower vibrations, and we know how to stop it, how to end it once and for all, and transform it into new transmitters of love frequencies, transmitting new informations and new energies of peace, prosperity, and freedom for the entire human family. This is just so right on. I feel so connected to what he's saying here, he or she. The author is not given it, just don't see it here in any case. So I really recommend Googling this Lemurian Fractal Project and the particular blog post about the mind-blowing information about the actual energies on the planet. Looks like some other interesting things here too, but that's the one I'm focusing on right here. So what does this all mean? Wow. Well, it means we are really busy understanding the fact, or becoming aware of the fact, that all along we've been creating our reality. Now, this isn't a new thing for most of you who are listening to this. You're going, yes, of course, that's what we've been doing. But, you can cognize something, and you can know it for years and years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, you know it. Cognizing it and knowing it. Two different things. They're related, obviously, but knowing it is a visceral aha, right from the toes to the nose, to the top of the crown. It's everywhere in your body at once. And that is what we're coming to experience. It's no longer in the realm of, we have to believe it. We know it's there. We just have to believe it because we can't see it. Now it's becoming quite visible in many, many ways that this is a true state of being that we as humanity have created and are continuing to create. And the things that we don't like here are being perpetuated by us. So it's time to find that common ground where we are aware of what is going on the planet that we don't like. We can't shut our eyes to it. We can't turn away and say, well, I'll just think of unicorns. We have to be aware of it, but we have to be aware of it with heart-centered consciousness and not fear-based reality. And that is something that is our challenge. However, I do believe that we are up to it. We're ready for it now, and we can do that. We can turn and look at it and understand it and be aware of it, and at the same time, we can take it into the field of grace and presence. And we can go to the sacred places, the sacred sites, and connect our DNA, energetic charging fields, to those sacred sites and turn on the keys and codes of the planet into the pyramidus radius matrix. This is what it is all about. this is what the pyramidus radius matrix that I've been speaking of for some time now is all about. It's that unifying field on the earth that was installed by the beneficent ones, let us call them, to help us at the right moment, at the right time, when we were ready to activate our interior beings to the fullest extent. And so I believe I will conclude with this particular video, and much love and aloha to you all.